start recording now. Okay, take two places. Thank you, Gina, for the introduction. Welcome everybody to our open house at the Content Creators Toastmaster meeting. I'm very encouraged by what I already heard that people are looking for. Hopefully this will be the place for you to find it and to connect with like-minded content creators, and hopefully a place for you to practice your craft and to share what you already know about it. I think we're all here because of that. Everybody here knows a little bit, and we ask questions at the end. We share what we know, and we walk away knowing a little bit more. With that said, I'm going to look back at the agenda here. Okay, word of the day. The word of the day, and I'm going to put it in the chat. And it's a hashtag, and I also have it as a little reminder here. I'm into props. Oop, this way, save the chat. I saw Bella put her links. I put my links. Lireva put our links. We are really into links here. We're really into having a presence out there. And the word of the day is resilience. The definition is the ability to recover quickly from difficulties or toughness. And the example is her resilience in the face of challenges has been an inspiration to everyone around her. As many of you know, the game is we try to signal. I personally just go like this. When somebody does the word of the day, that's going to help whoever is counting them to use, to track them, to use them. I have here on the agenda celebrations. I think the fact that we're having an open house with about 3 or 4 guests, if I counted that properly, it's a reason to celebrate. So, and given that we have, oh my gosh, we have a full house here. I'm just gonna keep going. Lireva, you have a content creation tip for us tonight?
Yes, Mr. Toastmasters, I have a coaching tip. Oh, no coaching tip, sorry, content creators tip.
Go ahead.
Perfect. Yes, thank you so much. So tonight, I want to share how to maximize your creations as a content creator using Canva. I know every content creator uses different apps, and something that I like from Canva is that it's very user-friendly. I would like to, so I am Lireva, I am a member of Content Creators, and also I am a VP PR. So one of my main roles in this club is to promote our club in different platforms. And today I will tell you how I am doing it using Canva. So I will share my screen now here. Share. So this is one of the creations that our club president created for this open house, and I think it's amazing. What she did was share the link with us as a content creators in our club, and I have the right and the things to modify the creation. In this case, it was for tonight. And what I do here is to share, to use this app. Here in front here, you can share it to see all these social media platforms from here, right? In this case, I am an admin to our Facebook page as the content creators page and also the LinkedIn page. So it's very simple. We already work as a team here in Toastmasters. So Jenna created this wonderful flyer. So now for my job was to promote our open house. So what I did here is just to share here I choose which club. I am a member of 2 clubs, as you can see. I choose the content creator clubs, and I already have my text. Well, it's not this text, but example. You just copy paste a text here, and I just click publish. And because it's already here, I immediately goes to, well, it takes a few seconds. That's why it's all just ready. It appears in our Content Creators Club. Yes?
I don't think you're sharing. Are you meaning to share? Because you're walking us through the steps, and I'm not seeing your share
I
right
can
now.
see it.
I
You
can
don't
see it.
see, do you see my page?
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Okay,
Must be
everyone,
me.
yes,
Never
but
mind.
no Francisco.
Never mind. Never mind. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay, perfect, but everyone see it. Okay, so this is our page. So please follow us in on LinkedIn. We're getting there more active. And as soon as you post it here, everyone can share. Everyone that is here, be free to share. In this case, also a member of the club, Francisco, is very active, sharing all the promoting our club in social media, and me too, and everyone too. I know Jenna also is more on. She's focusing more on Meetup and also YouTube, and I will do the same. In this case, when we close, imagine with the same process. Share here, see, and I will choose in this case the page, Facebook page that in this case was created, and I will choose where. So I want to Content Creators Facebook page. Again, I copy whatever text I organize, I click publish, and it goes immediately to post on the Content Creators Toastmasters page, and you will see here is this post. So it's very user friendly. Something that I realized from this app that I cannot share a meetup. So what I did here is you can see social media is no meetup here. What I did was just simple thing. I just downloaded. Download this app. This app I think is something. Maybe there needs to be another app that can share to meetup. Anyway, I downloaded, and from there I uploaded and created this open house app in our. Again, most of you maybe saw this app here in Content Creators in Meetup. So this is the way I use Canva, and it's very user-friendly. I love it. I know there are other apps. I would like to hear from you and to share your tips the next time, but this is it. If you have any question, please let me know. And yes, I am happy to share help anyone if you want to know more about Canva. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Toastmasters of the evening. And Francisco?
Thank you. Thank you, Lireva. I need to find myself and put myself on the spotlight. Okay. Yeah, I'm having a bit of a Zoom moment here. I have a second screen and I was playing around with the controls to share. I figured that out, but now I'm having a second screen where things are popping up. So unintended consequences. Anyway, that's what we're here for. As you guys saw, Lireva summarized something that we did at the end of last meeting. I found that really useful. Whatever tool you're using, at the end of the day, what I personally enjoy is figuring them out, the hacks, the tricks, however you want to call it, to make them work. So I'm going to go back to the agenda. Sorry about losing the eye contact, but there's too many screens in my life. Introduce meeting functionaries. Jim, can you tell us about the general evaluator role?
Absolutely. I think I'll start though with a little bit of an introduction since we have so many new faces here today. Again, really nice to meet you all. My name is Jim Vitrano. I've been around content creators since it got started earlier this year too. I remember Jenna, Lareva, a couple of people who aren't here. We got this club launched. We've picked up some new people, and we're hoping you like what you see, and perhaps you'll join us too. I'm joining us today from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My connection to this is really coming out of a Toastmasters district on the West Coast, and my connection there is I'm also a member of a club where I work. I work remotely for a semiconductor company out on the West Coast. I have some aspirations to do some content creating, a blog, and possibly a podcast to support a career change that is pending. And I'm hoping to be able to come to one of the upcoming meetings and participate in the content creation celebrations section and say that I've actually started. I think it's close, and hopefully we'll all learn together. Speaking of learning together, Toastmasters is a great place for that too, because one thing that you get in every meeting is feedback. Usually some pretty useful, never mean-spirited, but actionable feedback on how your speaking role went. What things you did well, what things you could maybe do even better the next time. And we have a number of formal roles that pop up that provide that feedback along the way. And when we get to the second half of the meeting, I will get the people who are providing feedback up onto the virtual stage to do that. We'll have an evaluator for our prepared speech. We'll have, I see we have a timer on the list. I'll come back to you in just 1 second, Francisco. At some Toastmasters clubs, we also have people listening for the word of the day. I think we're all just kind of doing that. If you hear the word resilience, up go the hands. People listening for grammar, people listening for filler words, so that if you're one of those people who's still trying to get ums and ahs out of your lexicon, you have a yardstick to see how you're doing. Some clubs have those. We don't have them today. I think we're just working with a smaller group of feedback team members today. But one important one that we do have is our timer. Francisco, you've been telling us a bit about what the timer all does.
Yes, I'm gonna take away your spotlight. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, Zoom is acting up today. Zoom must be yellows because I use Meet at work and I promote Meet. Anyway, timer role. I'm looking for my app. Where is it? Where is my app? My timer app. Oh, by the way, since we're doing introductions, yes, I've been in IT forever. I've been in Toastmasters since 2008, and I've been working on what I call a journaling journey. Started as part of my master's in instructional design. I heard that word out there during the intros. First, to celebrate the 100 years, that's why I've been wearing this T-shirt through this year, because as part of that celebration, of that thought of, oh, it would be nice if the clubs recorded and shared their meetings, I found this club. So serendipity at work. I also heard that through the introduction, so I hope some of you will stay. And if I find my app, I'm going to explain. Essentially, you're going to do the icebreaker 4 to 6, right, Jenna?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so Jenna has a 4 to 6. I think most everybody here is understands the timing. I'm going to make a signal, or I normally also type it. Yes, Lieva, like I said, Zoom is mad at me and it was playing with my settings. Thank you for that. So for table topics, I'm going to type it on the chat and I'm going to try to make a signal because I don't have so maybe I'll wave the gavel at 4, wave it again at 5, and then, wave it again at 6. I don't have the backgrounds that Lireva has. And that's also table topics, same thing. You'll see the gavel, or you'll see the signal, the green at 1 minute. You'll see the yellow at 1.5 minutes, and then you'll see the red at 2 minutes. If we were in a contest, you cannot go over 2.5 minutes. I always make that little notion. And you should speak at least for 1 minute if you ever decide to go on a contest. Of course, there's no contest here, but I wanted to give the framework for what table topics is. And finally, for anybody evaluating, in this case, it would be Jim and Omar, I will set the timer for 3 minutes, the green, 3.5 minutes, the yellow, and 4 minutes, that you'll be on red. And if I see everything here, that's it. That's all we have to time tonight. And now I'm going to switch hats again and be your Toastmaster. And I think at this point, I would like to introduce Omar. Have you evaluated an icebreaker before? You have an idea of what the project is and how you do it? Okay,
yes, I'm very familiar.
Can you explain to the audience? Imagine there was a guest here tonight.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm going to be the speech value for Jenna's Icebreaker. The Icebreaker speech is essentially the first project in Toastmasters. It's true in our old manual system now, the online pathway system. The goal of this speech is for us, the audience, to get to understand you, Jenna, the speaker, better. It's a chance to step on stage, try out some speaking techniques, and afterwards I'll give you feedback, demonstrate what I felt you did well, and maybe give you a couple steps to consider for your next speech.
Thank you, Omar. And with that, as you may have heard, this is a speech that literally, by, again, serendipity, that's one of my favorite words. Serendipity usually follows resilience. Those of us who are resilient enough to take the challenge and accept it and work on it. I heard that Jenna and Dalal were invited to submit a video for an icebreaker contest. Apparently, I'm getting to know this district, District 101. They follow that rhythm of having a contest season in the fall. Long story short, Jenna did not expect it, but she made it all the way to district. So tonight we're going to hear a district winning, and that's the thing about an open house. Sometimes the members themselves can bring that level of content to the open house and showcase their skills. We're going to have Jenna give us a speech. The title, if I say it properly again, Dahil Sayo Lola. Dahil Sayo Lola by Jenna Pacata. Jenna, take it away.
September 17th, 2024. That is the morning that my husband Sean and I woke up early while on vacation in Hawaii to go on a sunrise hike at the Makapu'u Point Lighthouse Trail. Little did I know that that hike would change my life forever. Leaving the house a little later than we wanted to, we hurried over to the trail, walked briskly up to the point, and perfectly positioned ourselves for the 6:18 sunrise. But it was one of those hurry up and wait moments because 6:18 came and went with nothing spectacular that happened, because right at the horizon was a row of clouds blocking the sun. After a while, my husband asked if I wanted to head back down, and I told him I just wanted to move beyond the railing and sit for a few minutes longer. As I made my way to that rock, I got a text notification on my watch from my Uncle Ray saying, "Life well lived." Starting to panic. I already knew what that message meant even before picking up my phone to scroll through my missed messages, only to find that my 95-year-old Lola, which means grandmother in Tagalog, passed quietly in her sleep. The only words that kept running through my mind were, "If it wasn't for the war, I would have been a piano player." Those are the words that my Lola told me on Mother's Day of last year. That one phrase was mind-blowing to me because even though I knew that she played the piano, not once had I stopped to consider that in an alternate universe, that would have been her chosen career path. It was the first piece of the puzzle that connected me to my ancestral roots of creativity. And it meant so much because as a child, I was imaginative and creative. I remember one year I made myself this bright yellow Garfield sweatshirt that I drew and painted over with puff paints. But somewhere along the way, I lost my creative confidence and I stopped taking risks. When life became more about getting good grades, pleasing my parents, being the perfect role model, and just trying to fit in. It's only been within the last 4 years of my life that I've begun to heal from the harmful effects of the societal pressures and norms that have moved me further and further away from my authentic self. But I'm now on my healing journey to take back my creativity, and those words taught me so much. It led to more questions, and my Lola started opening up about her father's tailoring business, her mother who would cook meals and open her home to soldiers during World War II, and the moment that she discovered that her grandfather was a wood sculptor. It was as if I had earned this key to unlock this hidden map, connecting all the dots, revealing who I am, where I come from, and affirming that I am on the right path to living into my own creative dream that connects my passion for making with my expertise in education. I am Genevieve Picata, daughter of Victorina and Francisco Santos, granddaughter of Purificacion Kulang. I'm the oldest of her 13 grandchildren, and I'm a maker and creator with the dream of using my gifts to help others discover and pursue their creative passion. And because of my Lola's sacrifice and the freedom and privilege that I get to dream, that's exactly what I get to do. While I know that my Lola made sacrifices in her lifetime, marrying as a young teenager, moving from the Philippines to the United States in the early 1950s, raising 9 children while her husband worked 2 jobs just to put food on the table, somehow this idea that she sacrificed her own personal dream while I am living into mine, it hit a lot differently. As I pondered these thoughts, I remembered that growing up with her, I did have a front row seat to her personal dream. And I remember her playing this song, Dahil Sayo. I can still so clearly hear her voice as she belts it out with every fiber of her being. Dahil sa'yo nais kong mabuhay. I've come to learn that that song is a song of deep loss, but it's also a song of gratitude and hope for the future. Dahil sa'yo means because of you. Dahil sa'yo, Lola, because of you. I know who I am, where I come from, and how to carry on this incredible legacy that you've left me with. As I've let all of those thoughts rush through my memory, I sat there on that rock and I allowed myself to cry and grieve and let out all the sorrow and loss that I felt in that moment. And as I looked up, there it was, the sun peeking up just above the clouds as if my Lola were there to give me a nice warm hug, telling me everything was going to be okay. Dahil sa'yo, Lola, because of you, I will continue to create, to inspire, and to honor this incredible gift that you've passed down to me. Mr. Toastmaster?
You are in silence, Francisco.
Thank you so much. Let's celebrate. If anybody's keeping track, well, I'm supposed to be keeping track. 6 minutes and 23 on that speech. Thank you, Jenna. It sounds better than last week. So obviously, part of what we encourage people to do in this program is to practice, especially speeches that get to your heart. With that said, and again, this is why I'm shifting hats in here, because guess who is our table topics master? Gina. Gina, take it away.
Thank you for reminding me. I almost forgot that that was the case. I am your table topics master. This portion of the meeting is an opportunity for all of you to participate. I have a collection of topics all around the topic of creativity. My passion, just like you heard in my speech, it really is creativity. Everything that I said in the speech today is real. That really happened. I mean, this is the picture of the sunrise that I saw while I was on that hike. And just that conversation that I just told you about in my speech just reminded me that I really do need to take back my creativity. And that's a part of my healing. And that's why I wanted to start this club. So that's why I really do feel honored that all of you are here. I'm going to share my screen, and this is what we need. We just want to hear everybody's voices. I have this, I'm going to present this in full screen maybe. I have this presentation that I just found a template on Canva. So if any of you are into Canva, they have lots of different templates. And so this was kind of like a Jeopardy template, and I just filled it in, and I have 4 categories around the topic of creativity: childhood, adulthood, inspiration, ancestry. So with that, are there any brave souls out there who would like to be our first to answer a question in our creativity Jeopardy board? Let's see. How about Jim, can I call on you to be the first one, and then I'll start calling on some of our guests?
Sure, that's fine. I was going to comment, don't everybody go all at once. I
All
guess I'll
right.
go first. All right.
What are you thinking?
I think I've seen this Jeopardy before, so I'm going to pick something I have not seen before. Let's try Ancestry for 300.
Okay, ancestry for 300. Have you ever created something inspired by your family's history or heritage? What was it? And if you haven't, what could you create inspired by your family's history or heritage?
It feels pretty sad that I can't think of something right off the top of my head on this one. My family is a pretty traditional Italian family. My great grandparents came over from Sicily. 3 of the 4 can actually be traced back to Sicily, but no, I cannot join the mafia because the 4th grandparent was Irish. The first thing that comes to mind, though, when I think about things created that were inspired by my family's history or heritage are school projects that my kids did a few years back. In our local middle school in 6th grade, the social studies class has every kid doing a pretty good sized report on some country in the world that's not the United States. And both of my kids did a pretty extensive report on Italy, since that's where I'm from. My wife, if you trace her ancestry back, is more German and Polish. But my kids picked Italy. They did the report. We certainly helped a little bit. They turned it in, and it's funny. The kid who I helped more got the worst grade than the kid who did it mostly on his own. Even after a little bit of time to think here, I'm still having trouble coming up with something I personally did, but well, as a parent, I'm going to live vicariously through my children. So that'll be my answer tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you for that. And this is a great example of sometimes when you get a table topics question, you don't 100% have an answer to it. And I just love the way that he shared his thought process with us. So what we say about table topics, this is a playground. This is a place for you to test out ideas, try things out, and the more that you practice, the better and the easier it gets. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen and we'll go back home. All right. We have other categories. Does anybody want to volunteer? Okay, Max, what would you like to take?
Inspiration
And which number?
for 300.
300. How do you find inspiration when you're feeling creatively drained?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. I find inspiration when I'm feeling creatively drained through dedication and desire. At the end of the day, I come home, I'm drained from work and mentally exhausted. And sometimes I just have to take a moment to be at peace in the moment to clear my mind. Look at what's at hand, what's in front of me, my projects I'm working on, and just think about that for a minute. And then once I start thinking, the gerbils start running. Once they start running, ideas start coming to mind. Once those ideas start coming to mind, my hands start working. Once they start working and moving things, then my mind's shifted from drained, exhausted, not wanting to do anything but just relax. Then I start doing it. And I just start focusing on it. And before you know it, hours go by. This happened this past Friday. I was supposed to meet some friends for a card game, and I decided, let me do this little tinkering with this project I'm working on. And no exaggeration, it was 2 a.m. I started about 9:30 working on this project of mine, and I was like, I have to go to bed now. But the inspiration came from just give yourself a peace of moment, take a look at what you're working, and then let the gerbils start running. Once the mind starts thinking, the ideas start clicking, then I start touching and just get to work. And I'm going from there. Thank you, Madam Tabletop Master. Thank you.
That was incredible. What a great table topic speech. You set that one up really perfectly, and it has such a great message. Sometimes we just need to rest or step away, because the closer we get to something, it happens to me all the time. So that was great advice, Max, and a great table topic speech. All right, let's see. We have some more time, so I'm going to go back to sharing. All right, here's our categories. Does anybody else want to choose? Omar, and then Bella after that. So Omar, which category would you like?
I mentioned for Ancestry for 500.
All right. Do you feel a connection to your ancestry when engaging in creative activities? How does it manifest?
In short, yes. I feel resilience of this kindred spirit I feel with my ancestry. The most powerful example that comes to my mind is back in 2012 when I was still engaged in making digital music. I had the opportunity not long after I started this journey. I actually started making digital music in 2009, but I made another trip back to my ancestral country of Pakistan. I had the opportunity to show my grandfather a piece I had written called Cour, which is heart in French. And this piece is basically kind of a minimalist classical piece with digital strings and woodwinds, and also keyboard instruments. Despite the changed instrumentation, my grandfather surprised me when he described how it reminded him of Sufi music, which is essentially a subset of Islamic music done by Sufis, who are essentially the devotional aspect of Islam. It surprised me that he made that connection, but I realized that he was right, and he had a great point that my approach to the music, in fact, resembled Sufi music, even though I was making technically Western-inspired music. I thought that was a really great way for me to appreciate my cultural connection. Now, I have to admit, I've not found one that is as profound as that to help me keep moving forward. Another challenge is that I also want to learn the language of Pakistan and recognize that speaking languages is also a form of creative expression that I want to work on. I've not done as much as I'd like, but I think back to that story at my grandfather in 2012 and think about how that was a great time of creative expression. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed away the next year, but I still have that memory of sharing creatively with him and wanting to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Omar. I love hearing about creative inspiration and how you connected that music to your ancestry and that led to even more things. So it's just incredible how once we start to go down that journey, it leads to more questions and curiosity. So I love that. Let's see. Now I will go back and share my screen once more. Go. And Bella.
I will take childhood for 200, please.
A. Childhood. Recall a moment from your childhood when you felt especially proud of something creative you made or did.
Well, this might be kind of questionable when it comes to feeling proud, but I'll tell you about it anyway. So I loved to bake ever since I was very, very little. I still love to bake today. And I went to a Baptist church growing up, and Baptist church are known for their potlucks. So here I was probably 12 years old, and I decided to bake chocolate cookies, which I make wonderfully. However, it was Christmas. And so I thought I will dye them red and green, right? How cool. Except here's the problem. As a child, I did not realize that if you dyed chocolate chip cookies red and green, they wouldn't turn out red and green because the base, for those of you who know, and some of you may not, the base of a chocolate chip cookie is not white. It's not a sugar cookie. It actually has brown sugar in it, so it's sort of tan. So when I dyed these cookies red and green, they actually came out puke green and pink. And the puke green, I mean, it was the worst color. Like, it was horrible. It looked like you just wouldn't want to eat this cookie. And here I had like 6 dozen, 3 dozen of these puke green cookies and 3 dozen pink. And luckily, my siblings, I'm one of five, we like to eat sweets. Nobody cared. So I brought the pink ones to church because I figured, well, they weren't too bad. And then my siblings happily indulged in my puke green chocolate chip cookies. So I don't know if you could say I was proud of that, but it certainly is a funny childhood memory that my siblings all remember very well because I'm the oldest. And so they remember when Bella made puke green chocolate chip cookies along with pink chocolate chip cookies for the Belrose Baptist Church potluck in New York. Thank you, Madam Tabletop Master.
I love it, Bella. Those are the stories that we remember. And what I say, because I work in a maker space, is that mistakes are all part of the process. If we don't make mistakes, we never know, we don't know where the limits are. We don't know how to move forward and adjust from them. So I think actually I have a maker space in Gilroy and I have a wall of imperfection. And so I actually keep all of my mistakes so that other people who come into the maker space, they don't make those same mistakes. So I think that we should never be afraid of making those mistakes. If anything, you get a great story that you remember years and years later. So thank you for sharing that and sharing that important lesson. All right, we do have time for at least one more. So let me see if I could share this screen again. All right, now let's see. Ricky, are you feeling brave enough to take a category here?
I can. I don't know the rules as well as I should. I've been trying to figure them out with the gavel and stuff. So
So it's 1 to 2 minutes. And take up as much time as you need to. Sometimes for first time people do table topics. If you don't get to a minute, that's okay. But the timer is just there so that you know what 1 minute is. And then you'll get Francisco with the green. He'll show you the green on his screen, and then yellow at 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then he'll show you red at 2 minutes. And then at 2 minutes, that's when you should wrap it up within the next 30 seconds.
okay, sure. Childhood for 400.
All right, childhood. What childhood toy or game best sparked your imagination and creativity?
Ooh, a specific game. I would say when I was a child, I was obsessed with video games. I mean, even my hat is a video game company. I would say the most memories I have is from the original Super Mario, well, from the Super Mario Bros. On the Super Nintendo. I spent a lot of time on there. It was a way to be creative, and it was something that you just did for fun. These days, I know a lot of people use it for, like, I'm gonna be a gamer. But for me growing up, it was a escape to a different world. Um, from the things that were going on in my life and a lot of the friends that I had there. But unlike, today where it's very competitive and stuff, it was just to have fun. And I still am very passionate about that. I have what's called a Neo Geo here. And I still like to escape. It's my escapism. It's to revisit my childhood when I play those games. So
Thank you for that. I love that. I grew up playing video games myself. My brother was a big gamer, so the two of us would actually, the first video game I remember was on the computer, the text-based ones, where it
oh yeah,
gives
yeah.
a scenario and then you have to say what you're going to do, like look for a key and then use that key to unlock the door. Those are the first type of video games, but yeah, it's so cool to see the evolution of video games and how, that inspires the next thing. And now video games look like they are real.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Very
great.
different.
So, thank you for that. Let's see. It's about 6:24. I am going to wrap up the table topics section of our meeting, and I'm going to pass this over to our general evaluator, Jim. Everybody welcome Jim.
All right. Thank you all for participating so far. This is the section of the meeting where we will get everybody some feedback. And first up is some feedback on our prepared speech. Jenna gave a wonderful icebreaker speech. That was her contest winning speech. And we have a speech evaluator today who will hopefully help her tune it up even further. Our speech evaluator today, let's welcome Omar.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Jenna, for a wonderful speech. If I'm not pronouncing it wrong, I believe it's Dahil Lil Sayo, which is because of you in Tagalog. God, I can't get the pronunciation down still. But it was an icebreaker about a life-changing site in Hawaii that made the speaker reflect on her grandmother. I felt it was a great ode for resilience and creativity. For today's evaluation, I'm going to focus on 3 aspects that were great, 2 suggestions for tuning in the future, and 1 suggestion for a challenge in the future. Your first great aspect was your exuberance brimming in your voice. I could feel it throughout. When you said, change life forever, well, that's an easy thing to say, but you made it really convincing for me as a listener to believe you. I also really enjoyed how you had the smile in your voice that emanated. I one thing I appreciate that you actually tuned this during your speech. For example, talk about 95-year-old Lola passed quietly. It was not exuberant. It was tenser, but it had a serenity to it that showed that you still had that passion shown in a different way. Another example was when you said, not once did she consider another life as a pianist, to paraphrase, but you really emphasized that not once. I thought that was a great way to show that enthusiasm in a different context. You also had an excellent use of body language. I really enjoyed the farther away. I can't do it very well in my setup, but I really liked how it actually moved away. And it's a really good way to imitate the 3D space while staying within the Zoom box that we are confined to on the spot form. The third great aspect is how you brought together ancestral history and your own creative spirit. You tell us about Lola's stories of World War II, framed by your Hawaii trip, where you're not sure if you're going to see the sunrise and it peaks up above the clouds. And reminded once again of Dahil Lil Sayo. Those are all wonderful aspects. Now I have a couple suggestions for you to consider when you're tuning this up. Should you give this again or change routes? One, I suggest you use your introduction to allude us to a key theme. In this case, ancestral roots of creativity. I'd suggest you include that because it gets it in our heads that this is a big point of your speech and we'll be ready for it when it comes. Lastly, I have one challenge. I encourage you, especially for an icebreaker type of speech, to tie this directly to you. And by that, I mean talk about your recollections of Lola as you experienced it. And this will give you a chance to focus your speech and land a bigger impact. Overall, this was a fantastic speech. I learned a lot about you. I learned a little bit of Tagalog. And I got the chance to see a wonderful speech. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for that wonderful evaluation over. Every time we hear that speech, it gets a little bit better and better. And hey, a fresh perspective that gives Jenna ways to tune it up even further. That's a great thing. So thank you for that. Let's see, the next thing on the list is functionary reports, and I'm debating. I have a few different roles here, so when I get to my report, I will have a few of them in a row, and I'm just trying to figure out if I want to split them up or just plow right through them. I think what I'll do is I'll do the ad counter, and then perhaps we'll bring up the timer report. Francisco can give us a little bit of an interlude, and I'll come back to grammar and word of the day, just to mix it up a little bit. Overall, nice job on filler words. There weren't that many for as much speaking has happened today. Francisco, I think in all of your time speaking, I caught one one so, and two uhs. That's not bad for as much talking as you did today as Toastmaster. Our speaker today, Jenna, also quite good for the amount of speaking that you did. I caught a couple of times when you restarted a word or doubled a word. I think you restarted maker during your speech, and you did a double I love, I think, as you were introducing table topics. Also, a handful of filler words. I think your favorite ones are just, and so I caught 7 and 6 of those respectively, and then a couple of others like one and that I thought was extra. Really not bad. Max, nice job in your table topics. I caught just one just that I thought maybe was an extra just to get. I don't know if that's a filler word or a grammar thing, but I put it in the grammar. I'm sorry, I put it in the filler word bucket. Omar, again, also pretty good. You had one basically one. You had a handful of words that I think you doubled up, like a double I started, ancestral, challenge. I heard a few of those as you went, but you got your point out. Bella, also really nice. 2 so's. That's all I caught in your talking. Ricky, again, real good for a first time. You had a few ums. I counted 6. A few other words too. Like, and, so a couple of double words, double my, double the. That's what I had for filler words. So Well, there's a soul for me, so I'm not clean anymore either. That's how it goes. Nice job, everybody, today. These were not bad counts. Just to try to add a little bit of variety so that this isn't the monotone gym show. Maybe we'll do our timer report. I know Francisco's been putting times in the chat. Do you just want to give us a quick summary? Maybe not. Are you there? Are you there, Francisco? Or maybe you're still.
I'm here.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'm doing it on the chat because.
Wait, you just muted yourself.
Okay, take two. Yeah, Zoom is really mad at me today. Anywho, yes, it's in the chat. Again, I'm gonna repeat. I think it's a good thing to do. Save the chat. The links are there. Your timings are there. The topics are there. I'm gonna scroll back up to cookies, resilience, Zoom. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Omar. Okay. Okay, Jim, you started on Living Vicariously, a minute 46. Max, I titled his Running Goebbels because that made me smile multiple times. I really like that expression. And Omar used the word of the day. His table topic was a minute 59. Bella came back in. She asked for the word of the day. Somebody wants to eat the cookies. Bella, you obviously are an experienced Toastmaster. I didn't time you, but I know it was under 2 minutes, so great. Lireva put all our links here on the chat too. Rick was a minute 10. I titled it Growing Up with Video Games. That's just a mnemonic for everybody to remember what we did. I know we don't do that here regularly, but maybe I'm going to make a suggestion that since we are so high tech that we put up a poll or something like that. I'm going to suggest for the table topic role to put up a poll and have a little competition and have somebody, have a vote on it. Most clubs do vote onto that, and that was it. Otherwise, the evaluation from Omar was 3 minutes 20, and I think the speech was exactly 6 minutes, and I put it here. Hold on. I don't want to say the wrong amount. No, hold on. Maybe I saved a screenshot. That's the thing when you're looking at chats. I think it was 6 minutes and a half at the most. You were right there on the edge of 6 minutes 29, Jenna, with your speech. And yep, I think I got the timings for everyone. Thank you, Jim.
Great. Thank you, Francisco. Let's see. I have a couple more reports. I've got the word of the day count. I caught a few of them as we went. I think I used it once, maybe as we were introducing the word of the day. Count it or don't count it as you see fit. But I know I heard at least 2 from Francisco and 2 from Omar, and I may have heard it from Bella, but didn't write it down. So nice job getting resilience into a few of these talks. On the grammar front, there are a few of us who use the word gonna. It's kind of funny because each of those people also used going to somewhere in their speaking. So Francisco, I heard both of those from you. Jenna, I heard gonna and going to from you. I caught it from myself, and I also caught the word for instead of for coming out of my mouth. See, other fun things I heard today that I really liked. Francisco, I almost put this in the repeat word category, but it was not meant to be that at all. It was the quadruple practice. That was not a repeat. That was you making a point. Practice, 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 practice. You also had another phrase I really liked there where you're saying Zoom was really mad at you. Jenna had the wall of imperfection. That's great. Celebrating the things you tried that didn't exactly work. Max, I think Francisco pointed this out too. I really like the gerbils starting to run. I was going to point out that my wheel, you must have sprung for the optional gerbils. My wheel came with hamsters. You also had what I originally thought was maybe a grammar thing. You said working. But then you followed that with running and thinking and clicking and touching. So the combination of you saying all those the same way, I think pulled it right back out of the grammar question category and put it in the, hey, that's a memorable sequence of words category. Nice job. Bella, a couple I liked from you. Puke green. That's a phrase that will probably stick in my head past the end of the night. And I also like the fact that you and your sisters happily indulged in those cookies anyway, despite the color. There's the grammar report. Let's see. The next thing we have is the general evaluator report, which is also me. I think I'll start this with a big thank you to everybody who came to our meeting / open house tonight. It's great to have some new people come here and participate right off the bat. Big congratulations to all of you who even grabbed a table topics question or a role like Omar did as a speech evaluator. That came in really handy tonight as we were trying to figure out who's going to speak and who's going to take on some of those roles. In an ideal world, we'd have all that nailed down before, but we rallied. We found people and we made the meeting work. And that in itself is a skill that we get to practice pretty frequently here in Toastmasters. Just trying to think, is there anybody have any other feedback type items that should come up now? Otherwise, I know when we get to the end here, I think the guests will probably each get a chance to say what's on their mind. Anybody? Let me try this. Okay, there we go. Yep. Sorry about that. My screen looked like it kind of froze. I'm not sure if the audio also did, but I had a picture of one person not moving. Now they're moving again, so that's good. With that, again, a big thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. If you like what you saw, certainly come on back next week or even join the club officially. We're always looking for new members who want to step up and lead and guide us as a supportive community of content creators. That's who we are. With that, I'll pass things back to our Toastmaster, Francisco.
Thank you, Jim. That's the timing on the general evaluation, almost 3 minutes. Great. Oops. And I'm going to switch hats again from timer to Toastmaster. It's for those of you who have been around, that's, I think, part of the resilient nature of a smaller club or a specialty club in our case is we just rise to the occasion and whoever shows up picks up a role and does it. So for that, I really appreciate everyone's enthusiasm and supporting this open house. Hopefully we'll have more and we'll be able to showcase your creations. Let me now go back to the script for a second here. Okay, it says here, set roles, closing remarks, membership, next step, passes control to start your arms. Dalal is not here, so I'm going to be very, 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 very direct with everyone. You've already spent an hour of your life checking us out, okay? That's valuable. My home club here in Erlanger, Kentucky, we have about 5 to 6 DTMs. Well, we used to have 6, but one of them had a couple of kids, and she's focusing on that. And one thing I really like about that club is you already spent an hour. I heard your intros. Don't wait, okay? I signed up the very first night because, like I said, I had 3-4 years of work on trying to get this idea off the ground. After a few weeks in here, now I'm even paying a consultant. I've been inspired by other people that are getting their launches going and all that. I'm the kind of person that if I can afford it, I will get the instruction. I will get the education. I'm already sharing some of the links from this consultant that he has been giving me, for example, on how to find your niche. That little tutorial from Lireva. Every night I've come here that I've been able to attend, I learned something. So again, and most of you appear to be experienced Toastmasters that are looking for something very much like this. So please, 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 after we hang up and we stop the recording, let's just do it. Join us, because that's what makes a club not only stronger, but more interesting. Is when we hear, like tonight, there is 9-10 of us that have been here. You hear different opinions, you hear different points of view, you walk away with something. And for the cost, this has always been something that to me, it's a great value in continuing education, having a Toastmasters club. And the reason why I'm keeping my home club and now Content Creators is, when you are in a dual club, and many of you are nodding your heads, you go essentially, you're going at twice the speed, because you have twice the chances to put in speeches and get, hopefully, one thing I did right after signing up, I signed up to be my favorite role after VPPR is VPE. Those are my two favorite roles, VPE and VPPR. VPPR, obviously, the technology, but VPE is because, as you can see back there, that's not a fake background. I've been studying all my life. At a recent district conference, the previous, 2023, the district conference for District 40, we had the fortune of having Matt Kinsey, who I happened to have met at my first club back in 2008. He was there, he gave us a keynote, and the one thing I brought from what he said was, to some people, Toastmasters is just like school. They want to get something. They want to get a certificate. Some of us are here for socializing. Some of us are here to break through our shyness. I'm here for the degrees, for the DTM. I'm working right now my second path of my second DTM. You shouldn't have taken this long, but pandemic. And as your VPE, I'm volunteering to be your first mentor, at least for the first couple of speeches. As you can see, you have a choice of great members to work with in here. And again, as we grow, we're going to bring more people, and hopefully someday we're going to have to ask weeks ahead, hey, can I give in a speech? So that's my closing remarks / membership pitch. Next step, we normally open up the spreadsheet for anybody who wants to take a new role. And I'm going to hand that over to Jenna, because she handles that better than me. Jenna, do you mind putting up the spreadsheet and see who wants to pick up a role for the next couple of the next few weeks? Thank you, Jenna.
Right. Thank you, Francisco. I will copy the link for the schedule and put it in the chat. I also do want to honor your time. But I do want to be here for anybody who has any questions. So it's 6:45 right now. I'm going to officially close our content creators meeting. And I just thank you all for being here, not just being here,